It is Indiana in the morning. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. It's a Monday morning, 8:44. We're glad that you're with us here today. Glad as well to welcome into the studio with us this morning Mark Hilliard. Mark Hilliard is the president of the Indiana County Chamber of Commerce, and our visit with Mr. Hilliard is presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. You can visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I said rather tongue-in-cheek that since we last visited, nothing big's happened in Indiana County at all in terms of business and industry, has it?
Yeah, it's been a quiet couple of months here. No, it's exciting. There's been a lot going on and a lot on the schedule, not just for the chamber, but for the whole county in the near future. So it's been a really busy couple of months, but that means good things are happening. You know, when it's this kind of busy. So we're excited and we're embracing it, even though we're ready for a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, well, we know that what happens on that campus, and they are calling it the Homer City Energy Campus. What happens on that campus is going to be amazing to watch unfold, and all of the business and all of the jobs and all of the wonderful things that they're talking about. Should everything go as planned, it's going to be something incredible.
Yeah.
But in terms of other businesses in Indiana County and what it does for the overall economy, we can anticipate more housing startups. We can anticipate more retail coming. More service industries. If things break the way that we think they're going to break, it's really going to change the entire picture for Indiana County. This place is going to look a whole lot different.
It has that potential to do so, and I was just having a couple of conversations last week about that same topic. It's going to have a trickle down effect on everything. There are going to be more healthcare workers needed. We're going to need more. Small businesses operated. It's going to have an effect nearly on everything here in the county, and it's a great thing over the next 10 years, and especially, but even beyond that. But I think we're in for a really exciting decade here ahead of us, and it'll be fun to kind of watch it unfold. But we want to make sure that we've got things lined up here. You mentioned housing. I mean, that's an issue when you have all these people coming into the community, and we want to make sure we have sufficient housing for them, and hopefully, a number of them from out of town that are going to come into work. We can find ways to have them move their families here. Mm-hmm. If we can show off this area the way that we know we can. And then we again need the sufficient housing to be able to do that. But with all these people coming in over the next decade, we're going to need people, in all of the different industries that are going to be working here to help service everybody that is going to be in the county. So it'll be interesting to watch it unfold. We got to make sure, though, that we, one of the things we're doing at the chamber too is trying to identify what kinds of jobs might be needed, so we can start working that process with our younger students, to be able to get them better prepared to maybe enter one of those new positions. And some of them aren't new, but they might be new, applications of some of those skills and some of those jobs with what's going to happen down in Homer City. So, we want to do our best to try to fill a lot of those jobs with the people that we have here, but with the amount of the numbers that they're throwing out there, I mean, that's probably not possible to fill them with just Indiana County residents, but we welcome those from out of the county as long as we can find ways to, take care of them and hopefully woo them to come here and maybe set up residence.
Like to turn them into Indiana County
Absolutely.
residents. But it really does speak to something that the Chamber has been involved in the last 4 or 5 years. The Soft Skills Challenge, which was just played out over the last couple of weeks, that's identifying students and helping them to understand what it means to get into the workforce. The Excellence in Education program is another one that identifies students who are leading the way and could be great leaders for this county for quite some time. Next week is when the big deal comes for Excellence in Education, and you're in the process of putting that final touches together on that program. Yeah,
it's next Monday at the KCAC, and I think tickets are kind of closed off at this point in time because we had to get the numbers into the KCAC. So unless there's some families that need in still that haven't pre-registered, otherwise I think our ticket sales are closed. But we're anticipating a great crowd again, our third year of doing this at the KCAC, and it's kind of the culmination of the whole entire school year's worth of work that we do, and not just us, but really it's the school districts and especially the students and teachers that are doing the work. And this is our chance to kind of recognize them and celebrate them. And we have some fun things planned. We've been working with IUP on a couple of different things that we're going to do differently this year. And, I think those who attend are really going to be in for a treat. It's going to be fun. We have Lindsay Ward from the KDKA Morning News who's going to be able to come there and talk. And she's a Penns Manor graduate, IUP graduate. So it's a nice story to be able to tell, of somebody who went to high school and college here and found a way to make it in a larger market like Pittsburgh. So, I think it's going to be a really fun event, and it's great to recognize some of those students. But you're right, a lot of this stuff we do really to help with that future workforce. And we started this before we even knew what was happening with Homer City. So you want to anticipate that there could be opportunities like these booms that we might expect. And what we're doing with the workforce, we hope will pay dividends here over the next decade or more.
We had Mike McDermott in talking about what ICTC is doing in terms of ramping up what they can do to fit some of those workforce needs. We know that River Valley with their STEAM Academy will be doing the same thing. And so excellence in education really is something that this is the third year for it, and it really fits the profile of what this county needs to be about in the next 10 or 15 years, turning it, some of the young folks who are growing up here into longtime permanent residents of Indiana County who are really helping lead this county, but more importantly, lead all of the eastern seaboard, really, in one of the great industries that has been identified as the up and coming. Yeah, well, we've really prided ourselves in what we do with that excellence in education and with our future workforce. I think one of the things I'm really proud of, though, is the fact that we really have great collaboration amongst all the school districts and IUP and Westmoreland County Community College and both tech centers that you mentioned, the STEAM Academy at River Valley and ICTC. And with this program, we have a lot of people working together, and a lot of the things we try to identify, and we're working on some other ways to get the students involved with the community, and not just the high school students, but we're starting to explore ways to get the IUP students more engaged with some things that we're looking to do from an economic development standpoint. But, those are our, I guess what I would call our low-hanging fruit of those individuals that have the higher potential to maybe stay here after graduation. And we want to do our best to try to encourage them with opportunities and getting them engaged in the community. But I think the collaboration between the school districts and all the partners that I mentioned really help to make a lot of these workforce initiatives work. And it also helps us as we're talking about things like Homer City to identify potential pipelines that we can create for students all the way back through elementary school, through graduation and college or any type of trade that they may get into, and hopefully finding a job here in Indiana County at the end of the line. The proposed College of Osteopathic Medicine at IRMC has to be a pretty big puzzle piece in that Indiana County future, too. Yeah, there was a Rural Health Summit last week that I attended, and a lot of folks in the community, and it's encouraging. It also identifies that there is an issue in terms of the shortage of rural health professionals, and certainly here in Indiana County. And I think that what that School of Osteopathic Medicine is going to do is help to hopefully fill some of those gaps of some of the healthcare needs that are in some of the more rural areas, especially of our county, but of all counties. And I think that given the population increase that some projections are saying we may see with Indiana County, we certainly are going to need more healthcare workers, and for, just osteopathic medicine is something that we hope that I think this will be the first public osteopathic school in the Commonwealth, which will be exciting. And I think that what IUP and IRMC are doing, some of the partnerships that they've created, but this school is going to be big, and I think that it's going to be something that's going to be important to help fill some of those needs in the future in healthcare. But I think also for IUP, I think that's going to be something that is desperately needed, and I think we're going to see IUP get a little bit of a jolt from this as well. Yeah. We, the way the campus looks right now might not be the most attractive thing in the world, but they're getting that set up for the future as well with what IUP is. It's going to, from some of the projections, it's going to look really nice. I mean, but and you what did they say? You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. So, this is the egg breaking stage of that. Sure. So they're getting all of that done. IRMC, of course, it's upped its game with the new facilities there,
Yeah.
and of course the acquisition of Mack Park and what it turns into in the next 10 or 15 years. All of these things are indicators that Indiana County is going to be a really hopping place here in the very, very near future. The education of young people that the Chamber of Commerce is helping with, the various other business initiatives that the Chamber becomes involved with as well. All of those are great signs for the future. Speaking of which, you've got some things coming up in the very near future.
Actually, it's a good transition, Todd. We one of our real goals this year is to try to assist our local small businesses. And that's a goal every year, but we do it in different ways. And I think, rather than, we always talk about recruitment in terms of bringing in new businesses, but we really want to focus on retention and helping the businesses that are here, and potentially the ones that are looking to open up, the entrepreneurs, those people who are looking to try to get into starting their own small business. So we have a small business workshop coming up on May the 20th, and that's going to be over at the Hilton Garden Inn, and it'll be in the morning. There'll be breakfast served. And we have a number of different agencies and organizations that are coming in to speak with our small businesses. Groups like the Small Business Association, the Small Business Development Center with IUP and Pitt, JARI out of Cambria County. We have the folks from the Indiana County Office of Planning and Development. We're working on a couple of other groups to come in, but all these people provide resources for small businesses, and it could be anything from helping to identify financial support for a lot of these businesses, or to help them keep their financials, help them to understand how to manage their books. And it could be anything. And for a lot of people, it's how do I take that first step with starting a small business? I've had this great idea and I just really struggling. How do I get started with it? And that can be so frustrating that maybe you put that idea on the shelf because you don't know who to turn to for help. What we're trying to do is have this to be able to assist anybody. So if there's a small business out there that you feel like you've plateaued or you can't really take that next step, or you're struggling, after your first or second year in business, these are the people that we would encourage you to come to this workshop, and they'll be able to provide the resources that you need, or at least identify some of the answers to some of the questions that are out there. So this is one of the steps that we're looking to take, and we're looking to do a lot of different, more focused workshops in the future that might be on specific topics that are of interest to our small businesses. But this is a more general one to identify the resources. So if you're a small business that needs help, or you're looking to start a small business and you need help, I would encourage you to please come to this workshop on May the 20th at the Hilton Garden Inn. We've got a lot of other things coming up too. After hours at Seeds of Faith Academy this Thursday. We've got a coffee talk next week as well, and we got a ribbon cutting today across the street at the Little Reed Bookstore over at the library. So that's going to be this morning as well. But we got a really busy month, and I can cover some other things next month when we talk. But our golf tournament's coming up at the Thursday before Memorial Day. But some fun stuff, Todd, but
yeah.
It's a lot of planning right now. So,
well, you said you had those slow months, so you needed something to get you right back into the game. So
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
over the boards and into the game you go.
Yeah, and if you're looking for more info, IndianaCountyChamber.com. That'll tell you all the events that we have coming up and days and times and everything else. So check that out, and hopefully that'll guide you to where you need to go.
Mark Hilliard, thanks for the visit.
Thanks, Todd.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Fox News next, top of the hour, and then Josh from the WCCS.